Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Year of the Batman. Today's BTAS episode is The Man Who Killed Batman. So there's not really a bad guy in this episode. It's more so following a single man. Batman's like barely in this story at all, but it's okay because it's just so well done. So anyway, so there's this guy Sidney, and he's approaching Rupert Thorne, who, well, not approaching him. He's like trying to get into the building, and he's all panicked and whatnot. And Rupert's like, "Oh yes, if it isn't the famous man who killed Batman, Sidney the Great," he calls him, and he Sidney's like, "You don't really understand. I've got a quite the tale to tell, and I need your help." And he's like, "All right, just tell me your tale, and we'll just go from there." So then he rewinds back, and this is like the main part of the story now. So Sydney was a kind of like a lower end criminal, and his big dream is to like make it big. So he volunteers to be part of this um, I don't know what exactly he was volunteering for. Something with drugs and maybe like a sting operation or something. But anyway, so the guys that are with Sydney, they don't really think he's gonna be that useful, so they send him to be lookout to keep Batman distracted. Well, Batman does in fact run into him, and it's so funny because you get this like the point of view from Sydney and Batman, and also from like the criminals below, because they see what's going on, but it's kind of translating a comedy of errors. Like for example, Sydney trips over his flashlight, but it looks like he's leaping towards Batman and stuff like that. To where eventually he falls over the edge of the building, and Batman he like grabs him and he's trying to like get him up on the building, but he keeps on squirming. So Batman has to like position himself better, but then he loses his footing and then drops below where like a some kind of gas valve or something just explodes, and all that's left really is Batman's cowl because Sydney was holding on to it during the struggle. Um, so the thugs that were with Sydney were like, "Holy crap, this guy killed Batman! This is incredible!" So they take him to a bar, and everybody's like cheering for him, like how great of a guy he is. And there's one fellow attendant. He's like, "Ah, you're not so tough. I bet if I could kick your butt, I'd be the toughest guy in Gotham." And then one of the thugs sticks up for Sydney, and a huge bar fight just ensues. Just nothing but chaos. The bartender, he's like, he just looks so unfazed. And there's a funny joke. Somebody gets knocked out beside him, and he like pushes over like a glass ball to hit him on the head. I explained that terrible, but it's a lot more funny than it sounds. So Sydney was telling Rupert Thorne that things were looking pretty bad until the cops came. So they rounded them all up, and Sydney's lawyer comes and rescues him. And he's like, I don't even have connections with my mom. Who would want to spring me?" But it turns out that lawyer was Harley Quinn in disguise, which, man, no makeup, blonde Harley. Whew, she does things to me, I swear. Oh, but anyway, so the reason why Harley wanted Sydney was because Joker was the one that wanted to see him. He's like, "Listen, I've been around the block. Batman, he is hard to kill. And I find it really hard to believe that you're the guy that killed him. So, what we're going to do is we're going to do a little crime, and we're going to wait for Batman to show up." So they go to this, I want to say maybe a bank or something, or no, maybe like a jewelry store. And he's got guards posted outside, and just to keep the Goths distracted. And Harley's like going through all the jewels and whatnot, and they're just keeping the cops at bay, on and on and on. And then Joker's like, I don't get it. He should be here by now. Why is he not here? This is a travesty. What a terrible day for Gotham City and therefore the world. Um, so he tells Harley and the gang, "Guys, just leave everything. it's not worth it, which really comes as such a surprise because you're just like, damn, Joker, you're taking this very hard. So they go back to their lair because Joker he used like a laughing gas bomb to distract all the cops, and it's really sweet. They have like a makeshift funeral for Batman. They have a coffin, and it's just his cape and cowl, and then Joker being the Joker, he puts like a little sign on it that says "Kick me," and he has this nice eulogy. Well, not nice for Joker eulogy of like how Batman created him and how he always envisioned being the one to take him down, but Sydney was the one that took him down. So they make the thugs put Sydney in the box where he pushes it into a vat of acid. But Sydney, before the acid corrodes the box entirely, he winds up being on a beach because I guess like that's where the he was drained off into. So also a really funny thing, Joker he like sheds a tear during all of this, and it's like a really sweet moment. And then just immediately, all right, who wants Chinese food? Just like they captured Joker so well in this episode. Just his like how scary he is, how funny he is, how surprisingly sensitive he could be. Like Joker can just flip it on and off like a light switch. There's truly no telling what this guy's gonna do or say or feel next, and that chaos is quite well captured in this episode, I will say. Um, so Sydney, after breaking out of the coffin, that's where he immediately runs to Thorn and explains the situation. So now we're all caught up, and Thorn's like, "There's no way in hell that you accidentally killed Batman and you accidentally escaped from the Joker. Like, no, nobody's that dumb or lucky or whatnot." And so he's like, "No, I'm telling you, like all this has just been stuff happening. I have not really contributed to the plot whatsoever." And then Rupert's about to kill him when all of a sudden you hear gunfire outside. And the source of that is the thugs are trying to fight Batman. So Batman, he storms in, he takes out Thorn, and he tells Sydney that, like, he figured he would eventually lead to the crime boss of it all. So he faked his own death, or he used the explosion that he escaped from last minute as an opportunity to fake his own death, to go underground so he could eventually track Sydney to where he gets to the main guy, which is pretty solid plan for Batman's sake because he did not plan to die, as it were, because you can tell when him and Sydney were fighting, he like actually was getting very annoyed with the situation. Um, but yeah, so everybody's arrested and whatnot, and then Sydney he's arrested too because he did do stuff at the beginning. He is an accomplice to it, but where he had like such an adventure, he's now in like a Gotham City prison, and he's like very well respected. So he is technically now a big shot. So he did get what he deserved or what he wanted. But yeah, just a very good story for how little Batman's in it. I don't even think he's in like 5% of the story, but it's just how like the characters react to it, and like just a lot of good jokes in there. It's just a good damn episode. I don't think it's 7 out of 7, but I think it's a strong 6 out of 7 episode. But yeah, that's that's it.